I try to distinguish what I think versus what I think is fair or what the resume is telling me. So the resume tells me that Oregon won the game head to head. They should be ranked ahead of Ohio State as long as they have the same record. My judgment says that Ohio State's a better team. That's my thought process on watching these games, just like Steve stated that. But I don't know why a team gets on an airplane and travels across the country if the game's not going to count. So I do have an issue with Oregon being ranked. I've got Oregon ranked ahead of Ohio State just because I hold fast to my tenets, but I clearly tell people that I believe Ohio State's a better football team than Oregon.
I mean, if the playoffs were the day after that game, Oregon was the better team that day, and they were the better team early in the season. You're seeing now, like I was watching, I think it was the Cal game, and they're talking about, is it time to bench Anthony Brown? People at Oregon are talking about, is it time to bench Anthony Brown? So that tells you where things are with Oregon right now. I just think enough time will pass where the two won't be mentioned anymore. And I don't know if Oregon is going to lose. They're at UCLA this week. That would be a good opportunity for them to lose, but I can't put faith in UCLA to do anything correctly. Or, you expect one of these Pac-12 teams to step up and play their best, and then they lose 42-7 that week for who knows why. But, they still have to go to Washington. They still have to go to Utah, and they would still have to win a Pac-12 championship. So they've got some opportunities to lose, and we've seen they've come close to losing 2 games they should have been winning by 3 touchdowns. So I don't think Oregon will have to be too much of a factor in the Ohio State eyes. I think it's more Cincinnati, Oklahoma, 2 SEC teams where Buckeye fans should be focused more on.
Thank you, Blocko. Appreciate the super chat contribution there. If I can make anything out of this, yes, SECBN, yes, minus Alabama equals ACC. Well, that's a bit strong, but anything for a contribution there. We appreciate that, Blocko. But
first time in 10 years, no Florida teams are ranked in the AP poll, which just means more recruiting for everybody else, I guess.
I can think of about 5 SEC teams I would send to the ACC and feel pretty confident they could win the conference. Or at least, challenge seriously. And for all this talk about Cincinnati, and I have been the person who has ranted and raved about the group of 5 being dismissed and that there should be a place at the table for them, either formally give them a place or discard them and exclude them, one or the other. Make it official, make it definitive. But I just don't know how we can push this Cincinnati team through. Steve, so we're talking Houston and Memphis?
Oh, I don't know.
Houston and Memphis are not on Cincinnati's schedule. So is the way things stand right now, they're going to play SMU. Then they're going to play them again in the championship game. And I don't know what that's really going to prove. And that's going to be their second best win to Notre Dame.
Well, I mean, Houston could rise up and be in that championship game
They
too.
could.
I mean, I don't know. Memphis is
they could. Yeah.
The alarm I set, boys and girls, was for 1 p.m. Eastern time. We were told by Ohio State's media operatives that we had to hold this news until 1 o'clock Eastern time. It's official. Tony, do you want to be the bearer of good news for all these long-suffering Ohio State fans who have clamored for their precious night game to help recruiting?
Yes. The October 30th Penn State game at Ohio State will be a 7:30 p.m. kick on ABC. I hope you guys enjoy your tailgating. It's going to be a late night for us. I'm not going to complain. I'll complain a little. It does leave for a late night. I do hope that Michigan State-Michigan game is a noon kickoff so that I can watch that in its entirety before heading to campus and dealing with the traffic, the tailgating, all of this awful stuff that keeps me from getting to my job.
Well, what's great about a night game is that you can leisurely drive in there usually a few hours early because people arrive all day long. It's not just, I assume the last hour or so before the game, it's a jam to get in there like it always is. But if you go in at 3 o'clock, you drive right in, or 3:30 or whatever. So for a 7:30 game. So, because it's so spread out. But that just makes me angry when I see, it hurts our recruiting. We can't get the West Coast kids in for the game. I'm going to tell you, the number of West Coast kids in my 25, 30 years of doing this who visited for an Ohio State game that was in September or October was about 1 or 2. And that's maybe if they had a bye week that week themselves and took the whole weekend and came in for an official visit. So I think it is good. The kids from Cincinnati and Cleveland, as we're talking, can leisurely drive in Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, all the surrounding environs. Anybody they're recruiting can, leisurely drive in that day and make the game, and then, either stay overnight or go back home, late that night. But Ohio State's played a number of whiteout games at Penn State last year, and the empty stadium was a night game for television purposes to spread out the TV windows. But even though there weren't any fans there, so Ohio State does get Penn State for a night game. It's been a while since that's happened, and that should help Ohio State's cause. They'll be wearing scarlet jerseys and scarlet pants. At least the first time since the 50s they've worn scarlet pants, if they ever did. Somebody showed me a painting of Vic Janowitz wearing scarlet pants and whatever. And I don't know if that was just a artist taking liberties with the uniform, or if that was an actual uniform Ohio State wore. And I'll wear out the joke again when it came out and Ohio State was struggling. One of my buddies says, well, hey, if you play like Rutgers, you should look like Rutgers. So, but they're suddenly playing better football. So, it should be a fun night for the Buckeyes and their fans next Saturday. So back-to-back night games at Indiana and at and at home with Penn State.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the red versus the white, the scarlet uniforms versus Penn State's all white uniforms. I wonder if Ohio State will have some sort of a scarlet out that night, probably to play into all of it. And it'll be good to have a night game in the shoe. Crazy environment, just that time of year. That's what Big Ten football is all about. It'll be fun. It's always fun to be on the sidelines late in the game for these Penn State games, because more often than not, they're crazy. I don't know if it'll be crazy this year, but it should give Buckeye fans an opportunity to put, 90 to 92,000 people in the stands in a couple of weeks.
Here we have a revisionist history super chat special here from Buyer's Vacation Rental. I always love these when people tell me what I said. Mark, I was correct in saying you need to now play at a Heisman level at the quarterback position for Ohio State. You said top 15. That was proven to be incorrect. So basically, Byers called me a number of times, argued about CJ Stroud. Let's also understand, Byers, that you said over and over and over, this guy needs to be benched immediately. And I said, give him a break, let him develop. So who was correct there? We'll see. But I think things are favoring my viewpoint on that slightly. And when I said top 15, I merely said, I'm not expecting CJ Stroud to be Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence immediately. And therefore, I don't think that you can always expect, even at Ohio State, for your quarterback to be the very best in the nation. I said, if they get top 15 play out of their quarterback, they should be able to win the Big Ten championship and go to the college football playoff. Because look around at Spencer Petras, Sean Clifford's decent, et cetera, et cetera. You don't need Justin Fields to win the Big Ten championship, especially when you're Ohio State. That's what I said.
Being Ohio State's quarterback automatically makes you Heisman level as a quarterback, especially in Ryan Day's offense. JT Barrett would have been a Heisman finalist in 2014 in Tom Herman's offense. And I think my thing is you need a quarterback that can beat the best defenses that they'll face. You need a quarterback that can put you over the top. Now, does that make them a Heisman winner? I don't know, or Heisman level. I think being a quarterback in this offense that can beat a team like Alabama or a team like Clemson, that's what you need. The byproduct is now you're also a Heisman candidate. And so I think Heisman just means numbers. It means stats and wins.